Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, microphone.
Is that the, a Maine. Got it. I'm always terrified to touch anything that says Maine. Thank you.
Okay. No, I need two microphones.
You need stereo
knowledge
effect
is
on this.
double.
Stereo mix.
Stereo mix.
Check 1, 2. Hey,
Double
yeah.
tracked vocals.
That's right.
All right.
Hello, MAGFest. How you guys doing? Oh, yeah. You ready to be educated? Okay. Yeah.
Dude, Microsoft has gone so downhill.
That's right.
That's right. Listen to us YouTubers do.
We know best.
So who loves YouTube here?
Yeah, YouTube.
And here's why you're wrong.
Yeah.
No. All right. Hi, I'm Jules. I'm FamilyJules. No, just fucking stop. Fucking stop. No. Stop. You guys stop that. Stop that. No. My ego's already too big. And then this is please.
I'm
introduce
ToxicxEternity. Hello. Yeah. That's right. I mean, humble. Yeah. Oh, come on. I'm only sort of the shit, you know. All right. Then we have longest solo ever, Dean.
Let's go! And then to my right, we have Little V Mills.
I'm being held here against my will. Help.
And so we're going to talk about YouTube. I guess we decided, we were bored today, so we would talk about this shit. No, honestly, so this is a panel that I think I've done for the past 8-9 years, and it's something that's kind of felt almost just like over-talked about, and I don't know, I feel like it was due to speak about it again because things have changed a lot on the landscape of YouTube, especially since COVID, especially since, last year. I mean, we've had a lot of really huge changes with YouTube Shorts. It being like, if you're not doing YouTube Shorts, you're literally fucking up.
Yeah.
To don't do it.
Yeah.
in almost the span of a year. So I think there's a lot of confusing stuff out there, especially for people who might be trying to get into this for the first time, or people who have been doing this for a while and having trouble figuring out, why aren't I growing? I feel like I'm doing everything right. And I think just like everything else, everyone's story is going to be a little bit different. Everyone's tips and tricks and what works is going to be a little different. So we have 4 professional losers up here to tell you what has worked for us and hopefully answer some questions. But I figured we can start by kind of hitting a few of the main things that we would expect people to be wondering about coming to this panel. So I think the first one is the big A word that everybody seems to know. Ass. So make sure every thumbnail has at least 2 ass cheeks. Yeah. No. The what?
Oh, that's
3 ass cheeks. I mean,
Three triggers
I don't know if we're ready for that.
triggers the copyright problems. Don't
Yeah.
deal with that. Yeah. Keep it at 2.
Do you think it's just your demonetization? It just keeps 1 ass cheek's fine, then 2, no. 3, oh, it's okay again, and then 4, it's dude.
It's a sine wave.
Yeah.
Wait. My bad. What's the A word?
The A word is algorithm.
Algorithm. That's right.
I forgot that's what we were
Let's give it up for
talking
the
about.
algorithm guy. No.
Woo! No, I mean.
Boo, algorithm.
So no. We've kind of we have this idea of what the algorithm is, what it does, and because of the nature of it, and because it feels like it has control over whether or not our stuff gets pushed out to our audience that we know is out there, the people who want to listen to our stuff, it's very easy to feel like we're being slighted when we put all this work into something and then it just doesn't get pushed out. So I think to start, because I feel like that's one of the obvious ones. People are going to be like, I made a video, it didn't really do well, I kind of kept doing it, I just feel like I'm doing something wrong and I don't really know what it is. I feel like the algorithm is suppressing it. I feel like we can quickly, all of us, kind of say our experience with that, in the field.
Yeah.
My understanding of how it is now and how it's been for a while is the algorithm is simply sending out your video to a very small subsection of YouTube other than your subscribers. Even not a lot of your subscribers are actually going to see your video unless they have been actively watching your videos, which is why you'll be like, I have this many subscribers, why aren't all of my videos getting this many views? It really comes down to YouTube knows what you are watching right now, not just what you like, not just your interests, the memes and shit you're into right now, because it knows that that's what's going to keep you on the platform. And what it'll find with new viewers is if there's a large section of that initial culture that it's kind of pushed your videos to, if it does well in that, you get put in a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one, until you like kind of hit that sweet spot and it knows exactly the amount of people that it needs to allocate your video to maximize their revenue.
Right.
So a lot of the time we can kind of get stuck in this idea of like, oh, I'm doing something wrong with the algorithm. I'm doing something like I'm not doing the secret code. I don't know the Game Shark code and stuff like that. But sometimes it feels like that. I mean, especially when there's so many videos telling you like, this is how your thumbnails have to look. This is what your tags have to look like. You know, it really does. I feel like I'm gonna maybe have a hot take, and maybe you guys should disagree. I think the algorithm is the best it's ever been on YouTube right now. Because I guarantee you, all of you guys, when you go on the YouTube homepage, more so than any other time, you guys have probably seen videos with like 100 views. Sometimes, and you're just like, what is this doing here? And isn't that what we've been wanting all along? You know, just we've been wanting to find channels, regardless of how successful they've been, more actually tailored to what I want now. So that, in my opinion, puts a lot more emphasis on just making a good fucking video.
Yeah.
So that's my hot take. I want to know what you guys think.
Well, I think the important thing is to always make a good video.
Yeah.
Like, because there's a lot of people who have this like mentality of just like, I just got to crank them out and just you know, do like the thumbnail and just like freaking, you know, do this face and like, you know, and like that
Stop talking about me.
No, that's me too. Trust me. Like I'm looking in the mirror myself, you know, but like, you know, like at the end of the day, you just got to make a great video. And like Jules was saying, the algorithm, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, so it's Y and then X is like this. I don't know what the algorithm is, you know, but like something about it, it can tell when people are engaged with your video. And like, if you just like seriously, and it didn't used to be this way, but like at this point in 2024, it's looking for great videos. And we see a lot of people that are just like literally appearing out of thin air with just a banger video and it's blowing up. And there's people that are just like, you know, coming up that are just starting out and they're like exploding. So like Jules was saying, I agree that, you know, there's honestly never been a better time to be a YouTuber, which is like, that wasn't always the narrative.
For the past 7 years that we've been doing this panel, like the whole
it was
joke,
very depressing.
The joke we said was like we were just gonna go on stage and say like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Yeah, like I feel like this is honestly like the first year that we're like, yeah, YouTube is kind of dope, dude. You know, like that. I mean, yeah, the algorithm. I think whatever they changed the Y to a B or something, and now it's like it's sick.
Made the sprungle,
you know?
a springle or whatever.
Yeah, they just had to turn it on and off again. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like, so it really comes back to. I feel like 2 years ago I would have given this speech about like you have to be consistent and you have to never sleep and you have to never have friends, but like. Yeah, I mean, dude, that was me too, man. But I'm like sleeping now, and like I'm still, you know, my videos are getting views.
Yeah.
So you know, it's good, man. Like it's about the quality. So if you guys, anybody, who in the audience wants to make content or is making content? Okay, awesome, man. That's awesome. You guys should
wrong panel. That one's over there.
You guys should absolutely do that. So, who here in the audience feels like you're battling some sort of like a time, like a clock? Like who here feels like you have to get this video out tomorrow? Well, that used to be the case, but I think we can say that now you're allowed to, you know, go outside, touch the grass for a little bit, and you can take that extra time and make your video good, because like right now YouTube is in a place where it looks for good videos that people are going to want to watch, and that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, like Now what YouTube was, that's TikTok now. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, TikTok is another beast. TikTok is freaking. That's a whole nother.
That's
thing.
insane.
I mean,
it's a different panel.
TikTok's like early YouTube. Where
Yeah,
it's just
right.
chaos where you can just upload the exact same thing over and over again, and it'll be like 20 views, 6 million views, 10,000 views, 80 views. Don't change a thing.
That's
It's just
good to
like
know.
that. And then the best is we'll be like, oh my god, I thought you stopped doing something. I thought you stopped making things.
thought
like
you're
3
dead.
years ago. Yeah, I thought you were dead. Oh, and because because whatever algorithm they were before, they weren't on it. And now they're on it. So yeah, TikTok is kind of like old chaos YouTube, where you're just kind of like. You just kind of like shotgun blast it and hope for the best. And yeah, YouTube is a lot more consistent, I've found now.
It's like the adult video streaming service now. Oh wait, no, that's Pornhub. Shit.
Wait.
Is it too late to change the name of this panel?
Yeah. I mean, me and Little V were literally talking about this, and we're just like, I mean, because we've been chilling for years, right? And like, back in the day, we would just be like, yeah, I'm doing this video, and then I'm gonna put out this other side project, and I'm doing this, and like, you and me right now, we're just like, dude, I'm chilling,
Yeah.
And that's not to say like, we're just sitting in our like mansion or whatever. I mean, we're still working, but like, the idea is that like, taking that extra time to make your video good and like working when you're inspired will literally do better. Like, it'll actually be better. Like if you have like an actually engaging video, then that is better than having 2 videos that are kind of mid, and that's new.
To jump off of that here.
Yeah.
So how many people in here would say they're like a musician first and a video editor second?
Nice.
How many of you here really really think about what you're doing for a video? Or is it just kind of like you just sit on a couch and play things like that?
It's like
Yeah, it's like, again, YouTube is like a video platform, and it wasn't until a friend of mine years ago was like, I love your songs. When I hear your songs, I can picture the video in my head. And that was kind of like it's a video platform, duh, right? Because like way back early days, it was just like literally upload the album art and then just have it play and stuff like that. And then they were wondering, why is it not getting any views on a video platform, right?
Yeah.
And so I think like there's definitely... I'm assuming a lot of people probably here do covers, like video game covers, VGM, stuff like that. I think if you put a lot more thought into the video, like as much thought into the video as the song, you'll find you'll get a lot more success, and it'll be a lot more memorable. Also, like music in general on YouTube is kind of in a weird thing where like, well, all the algorithm changes are like, this is popular, this isn't popular, da-da-da-da. Music's always just kind of consistently been good. Like people will come across your videos 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, and you'll just be like, oh my god, this is still great, and you'll just be like, oh, it's still getting views, whereas like, depending on what else you're doing.
You have that with like animation channels and stuff,
Yeah,
where
that
like
too.
they'll be like, referencing things that are popular, but things that are popular now, video games that are coming out, or like, topical subjects, making videos about that aren't probably going to get the same amount of views in like a few weeks, let alone a few years. But video game music or covers of band songs, movie soundtracks, anime intros, like people eat that up forever. So it's a very good investment, and that's another reason why I think like YouTube is a good place for music right now, for sure.
Yeah.
Dean, do you have any?
Yeah. I was gonna say, because you're kind of like, you kind of started a little bit later than us, right?
I have the longest solo ever channel was started in 2006.
Oh damn! My bad.
My first video was posted. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But like, but it was really like recently that your stuff really started blowing up, right?
Yes,
Like,
it took 16 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to for you because I didn't do it right. So
Same though. Like same.
I was also really late to VGM. Like I was just milling around doing random things, a Joe Satriani song here, and I didn't get to VGM until like 8 years in or something, which is silly. And recently, I've strayed from the path, and I haven't done any VGM covers in a while.
Samesies.
But
Oh, you guys were cool, man.
yeah,
What
you
happened?
guys-
so sorry.
We used to be boys, dude.
Honestly, watching you guys, I was like, I miss this so much. I have a couple very strong beliefs about the algorithm. One is that anytime the algorithm, like Soylent Green, is people. Anytime you say the words the algorithm in a sentence, like, oh, the algorithm doesn't like this, the algorithm doesn't like that, just replace it with the word people or your fans, your viewers. When it comes to what will people click on with a thumbnail, what will people want to watch, think about it in those terms, not in terms of what is the algorithm going to like, because the algorithm is just trying to serve people videos that they will click on and then watch. And those are your two most important metrics, your click-through rate and your watch time. You want to get both of those up as high as you can, and the best way to do that is the three most important things about any YouTube video, in my opinion. The topic, number one. If you cover something that no one has ever heard before and will ever search, unfortunately, it is less likely than if you covered the most popular thing around right now. And then title and thumbnail, the way you package that video. If you don't make it eye-catching and interesting and immediately communicate what is valuable about that video to your viewers, to show them like, hey, here's the video game you love being played on this instrument that you think is cool, and it's bright and colorful and stands out on the homepage. If you don't have that, they will never get to see how great your video is. So it almost doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah, honestly, like title thumbnail is like 50% of the battle. Like you can make the coolest video in the world, but if you don't have something good, so like that, just make sure you do that going forward. That's like
what's unfortunate about that is like it's like a lot of people do title and thumbnail as the last thing. Once you're finally uploading the video and you are exhausted, you just worked on this whole project, you just want to put it out, and you're just like, I don't know, this is just a cover of this song, and then
Now, luckily, if you're doing something, like again, if you're focusing more on the video aspect and stuff, there's probably something, if you've been sitting there for hours and hours and days editing something, there's probably something in the video you can be like, all right, I can just literally take a screenshot from that. That's interesting enough. I do the Markiplier trick where you just warp the faces of your, like make the eyes too big, make the chin too small, right? Something that you just kind of eyes go like, the fuck?
Yeah, and then
usually, and that's usually all it takes. Yeah. It's just like, what is this? And like even the other day, like when we were talking earlier with like you're seeing videos with 100 views, 1,000 views. Now I came across a really cool like prog rock band, and the thumbnail was just like, what the fuck? It's like a chicken man in the thing, and I was like, and it was great. It was a banger, absolute banger of a song. I can't think of the band's name right now. I'm sorry, but it's sometimes it's literally just that. It's just like cool title and just like what? And that's all it takes. And now they're in. And now they're in, now they're going through all your stuff, and now they're watching all your other stuff.
And a lot of that, too, is just, like, go with your gut. I mean, it's so easy to second-guess these things and try to, like, be like, oh, maybe, like, I don't know what's best, so you, like, defer to, like, somebody else's, like, tips, like, 4 idiots on a panel, or But, like, honestly, like, a lot of the best things that help me grow the most is almost just, like, stop listening to all of the junk that's out there. These people who are literally making their views by tricking you into thinking there's an algorithm that is like something you can hack, tricking you into thinking that there are certain things you should put in your thumbnails and stuff like that.
Those videos are literally there because they want to hit the algorithm.
Exactly.
And it's literally like this like infinite feedback.
They're waiting for you guys to go in and go, I must be doing something wrong. Let me do this. And then 9 times out of 10, if you check their body of work, they're also right there in the same boat. And it's 100 views on this.
The best things, and I don't know if this is the same for you guys, are when I just stopped worrying about what other people, like if I looked at something and I was like, I'm worried about what other people would think of this, and I just said, do I like this?
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. We can clap for that.
Thank you. Woo! Yeah. I know I was like talking like mad smack about like thumbnails and stuff, but that's totally right. Like there's a reason it's like a meme to be like, oh, because it's like you said,
it works.
The algorithm is people, like you're saying. That's such a good way to phrase it, because it's like you're not gonna like click on a video where some guy's like,
Hey, if they're wearing silly makeup and devil horns and a dress like me, sometimes he will.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just markets itself, and usually that's the best way to do it.
But like something that I actually recently started doing, because I'm personally like in that camp of like I'm a guitar player and like I had to learn how to like freaking edit videos and stuff just because like freaking YouTube, But like I'm honestly like I just want to play guitar, right? So what I've been doing recently is like you were mentioning before, like you finish your whole video and you're like, oh my god, I got to make a thumbnail. Like this sucks, So recently what I've been doing is like the second I'm done with my song, I go instantly to the thumbnail, because I'm like, this is like the part that sucks and it's like work. So I'm just, unfortunately, like in the world that we live in, the thumbnail is like king. Like, the thumbnail and also like having a title and putting the text in the right spot, and like that is like super important. So before I do like all the fun stuff, I call the fun stuff like the dessert, like the actual like editing the video and like, freaking putting all the explosions and shit. Like that's my shit, right? Yeah. But like making the thumbnail freaking sucks. So I do that immediately. Because I have like all the energy, I'll like slam like 100 cups of coffee and just make like a banger thumbnail.
Yeah.
And
don't slam 100 cups of coffee. Don't do that. That's bad advice.
Have you ever seen Futurama? You enter like enlightenment when you do that.
You get this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what life is like.
Some of you are too. I can see some of you are too young to be drinking coffee. Don't do that yet.
Yeah,
wait
don't do that. Drink water.
Yeah.
No.
This is 99.
Yeah. But I think that's a good thing that I figured out though, because it's like doing like the really important stuff that's like not fun, because there is some of that stuff. Just do that stuff first as much as you can. I think that's like a huge hack that I figured out.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hate this advice because you don't like making thumbnails. I make about 20 thumbnails for every video.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And I test them all against each other. There's websites where you can sometimes I'll just use Paint or Photoshop, but you just take the YouTube homepage and you drop your thumbnails into them, and I'll like scatter a few of mine throughout the page, and then just like look away, look back at it, and see what catches my eye, and I just pit them against each other until I get the absolute. It's a tournament arc of thumbnails.
Yeah,
it's great.
That's sick.
It's big, and YouTube has also a built-in thing now where you can upload 3 thumbnails. And what it'll do for a little while is it'll just randomly show viewers one of those. And then at the end of a testing thing, it'll be like, this is the one that worked the best. So we're making that the default one.
I don't have that feature yet.
Yeah.
It's an actual feature, and it's coming.
OP, bro.
If you, yeah.
Well, they are doing it. But
some people are doing that. That's actually a strategy if you don't have that, to just have a few different ones and then
just, like, switch them every few
switch
days.
them and like kind of keep a mental note. Like, this is what I do. This is why like, half of my thumbnails aren't consistent at all, is because like I'm looking at like, okay, my border is white, my border is gold. There's a person in front of the border. There's there's a video game behind, and I'm keeping track of all these things. And obviously every single one is going to have a different thing that works best for it. But being able to have a baseline is almost like having like a music template, that you don't have to go in just and raw dog every thumbnail. You've been here before, what's going to work. So don't think about it that hard, okay? It's not a perfect metaphor. I think like the idea is that you want to like save as much of that, mental juice goo for the actual like work of it.
These are technical terms, folks.
It's actually goo juice.
These are scientific terms. Don't fuck with me. The idea is that like you want to like not spin your wheels so long on the things that you have to do every single time, and you can do that in your own brain too, just by being like, all right, and these are just some facts that I go off of, which is 2 faces in a thumbnail, as big as you can possibly make them, while you're still getting the idea across. All my thumbnails are pretty much the same in that regard. Like, I literally, separately from my video, like, make a bunch of dumb faces with my guitar very close to my face so that I can zoom in, also have a video game character next to me, sometimes no text because nobody reads, right? And you'll notice that when you're like looking at all of these thumbnails next to each other, the ones that you are relating to, those are the ones that you gravitate to the most. But again, this doesn't work with every single one, but it's a good baseline to start so that, you're not like, well, shit, what do I do for this video? Well, shit, what do I do for this? God.
And, I still think one of your best thumbnails is the freaking Rainbow Road, but you made him the smile, the frowny face. Like,
so I did Rainbow Road in a minor key, and all I did was, how like Rainbow Road has the star and it's the smile.
Yeah,
I just turned the frown
you literally
upside
just
down.
fucking turned it upside down.
That's it.
Like,
that video has 1 million views.
That's the shit, dude. That's the shit, man. Be creative, man.
Yeah. I wanted to also add too, like, just like with learning an instrument or anything else, you get better at this over time.
Yes,
like, you just
absolutely.
As you do more thumbnails, you're kind of like, okay, and you kind of like, okay, this I like, this I don't like, this kind of and like not even just looking at it like the computer likes this or the audience like this, but like I like making a thumbnail like this. This is fun. Yeah. This is kind of my unique style and stuff. Because of course, if you start again, like I think with anything with the algorithm, if you think about focusing on the algorithm too much, you kind of lose the thing that makes you.
Another maybe hot take. I think if you blame the algorithm, you're just coping.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I think you're making an excuse for the video not doing well when it would probably do well if you made a better video.
Well, also like
Spicy take.
Yeah, skill issue otherwise.
Or
Like-
something more popular.
But you can have
more,
a good video. You could have a video that was
Everyone
good
get your
and
tomatoes
screw it up
out.
with the thumbnail and the title.
That's
there are
very true.
things
And
you
also-
do have to.
Yeah.
One
And
element
also
of it might be
there is
missing.
there's also just like some RNG. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you can't
absolutely.
like you literally just like you could make the most like freaking badass video of all time and like everything I was saying, like you did everything right. And like the algorithm, like, you know, maybe doesn't pick it up. It doesn't mean that the video is bad. It could be. You know, I'm not saying I disagree
It
with
just
your
means
take.
post it on TikTok 4 times.
It could it could be that. But literally, like, sometimes it's just like, oh, unlucky. You
Yeah.
know, then you just make another video.
And
Like,
sometimes, and this has been happening like crazy. A lot of YouTubers have been doing this for a while. Some videos are just popping off from like
forever
years
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
And that's a kind of a new thing. Like before, it did feel like it was like, oh, that video didn't do well in the first week. Well, that's a
Rip.
dud. Moving on. Yeah, but like,
And then like 2 years later, it's like, okay, there's just 100,000 views on this video
Right.
for no reason.
yeah. So that's another reason why it's good to just, you know, this is the one piece of advice that like I feel like every time we've done a panel that's like this, is don't wait to start. Because a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, man,
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'm not good right now, man. Like, I'm practicing. I got to get a teacher. I got to go to Berkeley. You know, I got to get 50 years of experience under my belt to start.
My
because
first
I-
video
gotta-
has
you
to
gotta
be
buy-
on
My
Mars.
first video has to
And
be perfect.
You have
It has to
buy-
be
you
on
have
the
to spend
moon.
$5,000 on
Yep.
gear and plugins first
Yes.
before you start.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Don't do that.
You most of you guys have phones, right? Too soon or not soon enough? No, like, I mean, my first like year of videos was just on my iPhone 4. You know, like I didn't have a fancy camera. You know, and I was using the Pod Bean from Line 6 for all my
yeah.
videos. My first video was literally a Boss Metal Zone plugged in to the mic input of my computer.
Nice.
But I started. It sounds like shit, and in 10 years later, after that, I redid the whole thing, and it's one of my favorite things I've ever done. Even though the arrangement was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait to like if you have some reason why you like I really want to make this, but I don't have the blank I need for it. Shut up.
Figure it out. You can do
Make
it.
the video at the absolute best you can.
You
right
do
now.
have the blank.
Yes,
You
you
just
do.
have to
Yeah.
find it. The blank was
blank
You
within
had
you.
the
within
blank
you
all
the whole
along.
You had
time.
the blank was the friends you made
Along the way, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I do want to answer some questions. This is so tough because I feel like every one of these aspects of like you can do a whole panel on like
Yeah.
the algorithm,
Yeah.
thumbnails, and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's just answer some questions. Like, we want to help you guys freaking succeed.
Yeah, scream your questions because we don't have a microphone.
Okay, you.
You said that you have the blank. For me, it's time is in that, and to my knowledge, people have not managed to generate more of that. So when I'm starting out with this kind of thing, like I have a sense of what I can accomplish with X amount of time.
Yes.
How do you decide? Okay, this is too little time. Like this is gonna be shit because I literally just took 30 seconds to be done, or I can't do 10 hours. Like how do you?
Okay.
Like where that balance?
You got
Can
it.
I throw this in?
Go for it.
A big thing, especially for the online space, is you kind of have to Bob Ross it. You have to kind of develop the technique to be able to make things quickly in a limited amount of time, and that was kind of a big thing because back when I was starting, it was like 3 jobs and da da da. Like I had like the extra. I just didn't sleep, didn't go see friends for a decade, and I just kind of got good at like, okay, I got an efficient system of like this thing, da 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 da. Don't spend too much time on it, and like aim for like a 7 out of 10. Don't aim for like a 10 out of 10. You'll never be done.
It's not possible.
Right? And then over time, the 7 gets better, and all of a sudden, you listen to your stuff from 2 years ago, and you're like, oh, that's like a 2. Oh, that's so bad.
And that's
but-
great. It means you've gotten better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there is no too little. It's just whatever you can put out. Like
Yeah.
I would say, instead of like allocate time, allocate a deadline. Just tell yourself like this has to like whatever I'm done with, that's what I put out. You know, just so that you have something. That's literally what my entire channel was built on. I made a video. I saw it's like, all right, how long does it take me to make another one? Took a week. 14 years later, I'm making weekly videos. It's a deadline, you know. So
something I live by, the 80-20 principle.
Yes.
If you're familiar with it.
Yes.
That 80% of the outcome comes from 20% of the inputs of something. So to put that short, like 20% of the time spent tracking guitars gives you, you could spend another 80% trying to get that last 20% perfect, and it's never going to happen. The figuring out what 20% of time you can put in to get 80% of the results is the key. For me, that was I stopped doing live drums because editing them took forever.
Yeah.
I took out the guitar solos because they
were the longest.
They were the longest ever. But they took a lot of time to write, and I was watching my retention, and it always goes at the guitar solos. So I just dropped them out. I know. But that is the key. Think about your process. Think about what is absolutely essential and get rid of everything else.
Yeah. I always think about like in the, you watch documentaries of like bands in the 70s and they're like, we had like $4 and we had 2 hours to record our full length album that's, went triple platinum. We just went in there and freaking got drunk and turned our amps on and we recorded a classic album. And I'm just like, why am I sitting here obsessing about like where my mid-range is when these guys are like freaking just getting in there and partying and just making like an amazing piece of art? And that's something this is real shit, It's like just get in there and capture something. It could be something special. It could be something meh. Every artist has their special and they have their meh, but occasionally you'll get that special thing, and the special thing, you didn't spend any more time on it. It was just like the sun was, Jupiter was where it was, and, like freaking you did something special. The
solar flare flipped the circuit on the
Yeah.
64 cartridge.
So like deadlines are good, but also just the idea of like the more time that you spend on something, the less of like a moment that it is. I feel like art in general is like you're just capturing a moment, whether it's like something that you draw or something that you record. You're just like, here is this moment in time in some sort of medium, and it could have mistakes. It could, like the title, you spelled this word wrong. It's like, who cares? Just put it out, and like let it rip,
And do it again and again and again, and you will get better at doing that quickly, faster, like you said.
The Bob Ross method.
Yes.
Okay, more questions.
More questions.
You in the back with the long hair.
Which one?
Okay, so I'm like more of like I guess a musician that I have like a sizable like audience on Spotify, but I've never really cracked like the code like with YouTube. A lot of my friends that like have music, they kind of treat YouTube as almost like its own streaming service, where they make like a 16:9 sort of like version of like the cover, and they just re-upload their song. Sometimes it pops off, and then other times they'll like might add like a bit of an animation or something, and it could pop off. Sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just wondering, because you guys are talking a lot about like actual content in the sense that you might be covering something like on camera. So like for like traditional musicians, where do you think that format stands? Like, do you think that there should be some sort of variety in order so that like you can bring that like fan base forward to like your music, like your albums, your singles and whatnot?
So the question is, and it says to repeat the question, so I'm making sure to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't want
Rules. Ooh.
The question is, how do you use YouTube to market to a traditional music audience, not a video-first audience? So whether that's creating like unique visualizers just for YouTube. I think that YouTube is a video platform first, like you've said, and you've got to put something interesting and unique there, whether that's behind the scenes content, really interesting, entertaining stuff. But if that's not the kind of thing you want to be doing, you don't have to do YouTube. You're killing it on Spotify. That's amazing in its own right.
Or just have low expectations. But I agree. And music videos have been around since the 80s, and even back before the internet existed, bands were making music videos to add a visual element to their music, and that's pretty much why music in the 80s with like MTV and stuff like that, like just exploded in a way that it's never been exploded before. Because before music videos, music was a purely auditory form of art. But, you know, like with the music video, all of a sudden there's this visual elements. And of course that's not required, you know, nothing is required in art, you know. But I find that the appeal of having, you know, being able to see the artist, like I think as humans, like we just enjoy like that kind of like getting a look at the person that is creating the art and just having that connection and being like, wow, this is the person who made this awesome riff or this awesome song, you know. So certainly like, you know, you don't have to be like Metallica or whatever and make like literally a music video for every song on the album. But, you know, I think certainly as long as it's not compromising any sort of artistic integrity, I think having a music video for like, you know, like a short song or a single could only be advantageous because it's just going to allow the listener to like get a look at who you are and kind of connect to you on a deeper level, you know. So
I will say there's always been a visual element with music. I would just the kind of addendum there.
Oh, okay.
Because performance has always been a part of it, right? So like the video era is just how you bring that performance into the kind of more modern era, because obviously not everyone's going to a million shows. Now your audience is global and not just like your local band and stuff, right? So there's always been a very like visual is very important. If you're looking for like a more like straightforward answer for that kind of thing,
No, we can't have this. Okay,
less of a, I wouldn't do the album art on the thing because there's not really much to look at. A big one I found in my own stuff is just lyrics. Animate the lyrics. You don't have to do anything too fancy. Just like have them up by like line by line. Just something that like people can watch. Yeah, like a visualizer will go way further than an album cover.
Lyric videos.
But what's gonna go even more is like you. Right, like you doing something, performing something, singing something, because then it's like, human being doing something. I get this. This is art, a connection, which is kind of the whole point of music and art, right? So I think as long as something is happening in the video, it'll work better than if you just put up the album art. Not to say that those don't pop off once in a while; they absolutely do. But you'll better chance.
It's an anomaly, like you know, in most cases, just to have like a still picture, you know. Yeah,
I'd say. Fuck YouTube. Just put your music on Pornhub. Any more questions?
It's the new meta.
Hey, look, camel by camel, dude.
We'll have to change the name of the panel.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. All right. Somebody else decide. I'm feeling the.
You in the middle right there. Yes. Yeah.
They're comfy and easy to wear. I'm sorry.
Shorts. So where do we all stand on shorts? Both the clothing item and the YouTube.
Leave youngster Joey.
I could not.
I'm not anymore. I'm fucking done. So in the beginning, YouTube was pushing shorts, obviously, because they were competing with TikTok. They were doing it so much that they were allocating money to make up for the fact that shorts can't have the same kind of ad revenue as long-form content. So they were just dumping all of this money into shorts. That doesn't mean people are watching the same amount of shorts. It just means people are making a little bit more money than zero, and it still ends up being zero. So as time went on, it started looking like for some channels it makes more sense to have a separate shorts channel. You know, so that the actual audience that you're curating there, that's the expectation, that's the audience you're building. Whereas the other people, you know, who want to see the longer form aren't like, you know, bombarded with all of these shorts. There's also something to say about the other side of this, which is YouTube live streams, which in the beginning, it felt kind of like you're not going to want to do YouTube live streams because it's going to like, you know, like, it's going to hurt your like watch time or something like that.
With the algorithm.
However, somebody on this table has completely changed my mind on that, and that's Dean.
Oh.
Dean,
thank you.
You've been doing YouTube streams, and they do well. Like, and it seems like your audience, because you've created that expectation, it's not something that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, and the real key. This is the thing I tell everyone about live streams. treat it like a video. Give it a title, give it a thumbnail, not the same one every single time. Every one of my streams, you know exactly what you're getting in that stream that's unique to it. Yes. This week we're producing a song based on this game you like. This week we're playing this exact game in this interesting way. It's not just like, live, just chatting, come hang.
Yeah.
Stream number 7,407.
Yeah.
As a side note, never put episode numbers in anything, just ever.
Yeah.
You can put them in your tags, I guess, if you really need them. You know, like the little, like the hashtags or whatever.
I don't think tags do anything anymore.
No, not those tags.
Okay.
The you know the hashtags you put in your description. Those actually do things.
Gotcha.
However, the tags that that when you put in the like,
I feel so strongly about those.
SEO,
Yes.
SEO optimization.
No, you pop
the
off, dude.
only
You
the
pop
only
off.
thing I think that tags do right now is helping with spelling errors.
Yes.
That's like if you have something in your title that is commonly misspelled, a common one might be Pokemon, because some people might be overachievers and actually put the fucking accent in the E. That can help. Usually, a lot of my videos with the most views have 0 tags at all. So if you guys are still going hard on tags,
Forget it.
idiots.
Don't worry.
I mean, it's like you could try, but just don't be like,
don't
oh, man.
spend a lot of time
Yeah.
on it. If it takes you more than like 30 seconds to make your tags,
Like, don't not do it, but like, don't be like, oh man, if I only tagged
right,
my video.
don't lose sleep over your tag. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I would say that's, I think, a pretty easy kind of thing to mentally conceptualize with long form content. I think we're going to see a very similar thing with shorts, in that if shorts don't serve your content, don't do shorts. Because just because YouTube wants their fucking bag over this shit does not mean that you have to change your whole content and actually hurt where your content does the best, if that makes sense. So I would just say, at the end of the day, when trying to thinking about the new features and all of this stuff, does it serve the content you want to make? Not the other way around.
Yeah.
That's what you should be thinking about. What?
How many Gears of War books are there?
Only if it's about Gears of War novels,
Yeah.
Brett.
How many?
With my content, which is not music, but it's D&D.
That'll be $50 for the plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found, especially because they, we remember when we were pushing shorts, like, you can monetize shorts.
Yeah.
now, it's gonna be great,
Yeah.
We're gonna make so much money, and then we all were making like a couple extra dollars, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't use shorts as a monetary gain on itself. Use shorts as a way to advertise your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll tell you right now, the D&D channel that I run gained a lot more viewership and started gaining a lot more revenue, not because from the shorts itself, but because shorts were pulling people to the channel to be like, oh, this looks interesting, let me see what this is actually about. And it was bringing the audience to the long form content. Never use shorts as a monetary gain, use it as an advertising.
Unfortunately, that's a little bit difficult to do with music specifically.
So, I actually have. I haven't had success with this yet, but I'm going to steal this from Cam Steady. He's an anime rapper, and I caught his TikToks first. He does these sketches, and there's a lot of folks who do this on TikTok now. The first 10 seconds of the sketch are him as a producer in the studio, and then he also plays whatever character he's rapping as, Mewtwo, Lucario, whatever, comes into the studio. There's 5 seconds of banter, and then the song starts. If you can do something that catches someone's eye as they're scrolling, and then seamlessly walk them into your song and have them listening to it before they know it, then you can get them hooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to steal that.
Yeah, you just drug dealing.
Yeah.
Shady alleyway and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
The
just
shady
want-
alleyway being.
I think an important
Yeah.
addendum to this too is that I think there's a wide variety of artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's people who are you could really you could distill it down to introverts versus extroverts and stuff. So I feel as an introvert, I try not to put too much pressure on myself to be hey guys, I put out a song. It's death metal. It's about death. Anyway.
Did I just write the song of the summer?
Yeah. come check it out.
I have a really short form. Short form.
So like, don't feel pressured to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
here's a really short version of this. Do you want to make? Who wants to make shorts or TikToks or short form content? Great, make it.
Yeah,
That's it.
If you have ideas for it,
you don't have to.
Like, you don't
obviously,
have to.
obviously,
That's the
like,
thing. They make you think that you have to, and I
Yeah.
don't think you do. Like,
if
But
you,
if you
the
have
thing
fun
is,
ideas-
if you're faking it,
if
it's
you have
like
fun ideas, if it's something like at the same thing,
Yeah.
if you're here because you want to make something and you want to make something, then share it with people. Then yeah, and if that's shorts or TikToks, absolutely go for that. If you don't, though, the audience knows.
yeah, 90%
The audience
of
knows
the
if
time.
you're just kind of pumping out content
Yeah.
and just kind of recycling stuff. It's always kind of been there. It's even with long form stuff. If you're just
Like-
kind of doing something, going through the motions, it's like, and you're just clearly not into it.
The
9 times out of
ideal
10 people
thing
can
is
tell.
to find that perfect like Venn diagram of like, you know, it's like it's something that works, but it's something that you enjoy. Like the second you find that, you're just like, I'm in, you know.
that's the whole concept of Ikigai.
I was going to say.
Well,
Yeah.
the way that we know it is actually a Western bastardization of Ikigai. But here, I'll pull it up.
All right, let's answer some more questions too.
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right, what's up, Cole?
Hey,
What up?
so with us talking about, maybe focusing because you all are musicians on YouTube, what I'm curious about is actually in regards to VTM covers versus original music, because I know a couple of you have said it will lead to more original music, but even outside of that, like Jules, you have your own band, Jack, I think you do some original stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does.
You're doing covers for video games now. I don't know if that answer.
Thanks for the plug. That'll be $50.
Yeah, you have to pay him.
God, stop! I don't have this much money.
It's been interesting seeing how people have reacted to how they feel about doing covers compared to original music. The example is Carlos. Carlos a while ago was like, I am going to stop being a content creator. I'm going to stop producing music for YouTube because, and he had many reasons for it. And then just last year he came back.
Yeah.
After working on original music and everything else like that. So my question is, what is your guys' current stance on doing video game covers versus original music?
I think what I really want to do, and I'm very inspired by Carlos, I want to say I'm leaving YouTube and then 2 years later say I'm coming back.
That's the meta right now.
Dude, everyone's leaving
Everyone's
YouTube right
leaving
now.
YouTube. It's the hot new thing.
Maybe they're all doing it because Carlos did.
I hate to break it to you, but bands have been doing that for like 30 years.
what the fuck?
A
That's
farewell
true.
tour.
Final tour. Yeah.
This is our last tour ever.
The
They
final-
promised this time.
Yeah,
It is. That's the new panel title. What was the
I'm
question?
gonna make a video that says I'm staying here.
versus originals.
Just like
Yeah.
Covers versus
originals.
to speak on
yeah.
covers versus originals, we've
Oh, yeah.
we've all been in both worlds a bit. The reason I switched over, for one, I fell into a very specific cover niche where the algorithm basically only let me cover songs from this game Friday Night Funkin' for about 2 years straight, and it worked. It got views.
yeah.
And then by the end of it, I felt like I was just like churning them out like on an assembly line, and it was miserable. But I found more inspiration at the time in original songs. But then getting back here, seeing you guys, seeing Descendants of Erdrick on Thursday night was insane.
Huge shout outs. Love those
So
guys.
good. And $50?
That goes to
We're
a
making
Mandela
money,
Pre.
bro, or losing it. I don't know.
I was
Hold on, the check hasn't cleared yet. Hold on.
Yes, I was saying like I miss this and I love this too. And I don't think there's a higher ceiling on one or the other. There are cover artists getting incredible views. There are original artists getting incredible views. I think do what you really enjoy, and that brings us back to what Jules is saying with Ikigai.
Yeah, so this is cool. Obviously, this is kind of like a really, really broad life thing, but this is also a really, really cool way to look at just anything that you're doing in general that brings you joy or brings you any kind of positivity. Because this again, I should say this is a completely Western bastardization of the concept of Ikigai. They do not have nearly as much of an emphasis on career as we do in the West. However, for us, I like this because it kind of makes you ask the questions, what do you love? What does the world need? What are you good at? And what can you be paid for? If you can find that perfect fucking nut straight in the middle of it, man, then hell yeah. Like, that's sick. Yeah, you kick that one nut just as hard as you can.
Like a cashew.
Yeah, like
a
a walnut.
Yeah.
What?
Get your head out of the gutter, okay? This is serious. We're talking about life here, okay? Balls. Cole, shut up. Okay, so the
It really is. It really is a Jules live stream.
what's cool is like you can really like look at like, okay, Friday Night Funkin'. Maybe that's not something that you love, but the world needs it. You know what I mean? They need the metal covers of Friday
really
Night
did.
Funk, so you can be paid for it, and you're good at it. You know, so you find something that's comfortable but feeling of emptiness. Now, if you can fucking just
It worked for a little while.
Yeah,
if you can
that's
just
how I
fucking
felt about
push
doing
that
like
shit.
React videos. Like I was digging it, and then I was just like, I'm kind of bored. I'm gonna stop. And then because the what you love, that part was starting to kind of turn a different color or whatever. I don't know how this works, but but it was starting to like go off, you know. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna take a break from that. But like everything else, like when I was doing the React videos, that shit was like all there. Like
Yeah.
I was like I was the cashew in the middle there.
That's right. So I mean, it's just one thing to look at. You know, I like this totally fake thing, but it's helpful, especially as just kind of like a basis for thinking about what you're doing with your art, because we usually do art because we love it. Now that's difficult because the second we start adding, you know, money and stuff and competitiveness, you know, are you good at that? That's so subjective. That depends sometimes on, are other people better than me? Are other people not as good as me? That's the only basis that you have off of if you're good at it. And competitive is, or you know, competition is the thief of joy or whatever, comparison or whatever.
Yeah.
And what the world needs, you know, like I really like looking at this as far as YouTube or music, because you will find those trends and those niches through kind of thinking about it like this too. So maybe this is the takeaway from this panel, is just kind of maybe think about these 4 different aspects. It's not perfect, but it could help you a lot.
I will say, like, it's very relatable to talk about, like, you know, comparing yourself, and like it's a very human thing and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of this job is like actively meditating on minimizing that as much as possible, because while it's, you know, we're all human beings, I would say it's like virtually impossible to just delete your ego, you know, but like, you know, it's putting active effort into like, you know, quieting the world around you and just focusing on being better than you were yesterday. Like, for, you know, obviously that applies to every aspect of your life, but in this career, it is like absolutely necessary for your mental health, because if you're worrying about like other people getting more views than you and more subscribers, which, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
But if that is like actively poisoning your brain.
Yeah.
So it is very important in this job to like sit there and like take time out of your day and just focus on just being like, I am so grateful for being able to do this. I have a gift. I'm an artist. I have fans, you know, and I'm just going to make something great today, and that's it.
I mean, you essentially have to just accept the fact that Toxic Eternity is a better guitarist
Yeah,
than
and
you.
I'm the
he
best.
is actually
Yeah.
better than all of
So,
us.
Really is.
It's easy. I mean, it's easy for me to say, right?
Just accept it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yes,
he is better than all of us.
he is
combined.
better
Yeah,
than all of us.
100%.
But-
But
1000%.
don't let that stop you from doing your thing, because you have a voice that Toxic Eternity can never replicate.
I
you
know this. Yeah.
He's really bad at mimicking voices.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, you should ask him to do impressions.
Yeah, like this whole gig
Why
is.
are you doing this?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
This
trying
whole
to be
gig,
inspiring. What the fuck?
this whole YouTube gig, this whole
Just being a dick.
Yeah,
No,
this
I'm
whole
just
internet stuff. Okay, I'm gonna plow right through it. All right, this whole YouTube gig is super isolating. So like, it's really hard to like feel in community with people. But like, we're not in competition with each other. We're all playing music. That's why we have stuff like this. Where we can all share things, have fun, go to the jam space, things like that. And it's really hard to remember that when you're in the middle of it and you're worrying about views and stuff like that. But it's like, you're not really.
Well, we're not in competition
Yeah,
with each
we're
other,
not.
because if you think about it, if we all cover some song from Hades or something, if you're into Hades, you're gonna watch all those videos.
Yeah, rising tide lifts all
Yes.
boats, right? Like we're all kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was literally thinking of that meme. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is just about the end of this panel.
Are we done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry. If you
I
guys
know.
have any more questions,
We
just
never even asked. We
bring
never
it.
even answered. What the fuck is YouTube?
Yeah.
I still don't know.
Can you eat it?
Yeah.
What is YouTube?
Can you eat
I
it?
don't know.
If you can't eat it and you can't fuck it, tear it up. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Wise words.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
All right, I'll be outside or something.